Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about the guardians of the Constitution, born from the Constitution and protect the Constitution by holding the powerful, the political or the privileged ones accountable. We are talking about the constitutional bodies, and in this video we are going to have an overview about the articles, about the appointments, about the eligibilities and various other aspects. So without any further delay, let us start the topic. Constitutional bodies are established by the Constitution of India. What does that mean? It means that the constitutional bodies have a mention in the Constitution of India by specific articles. Whatever bodies we are going to discuss today, they will have a mention in the Constitution of India by specific articles. Like if we consider Finance Commission, it has a specific article of 280. Article number 280 tells us about the Finance Commission of India. Now, what are their roles? Their roles and responsibilities are defined in various articles. They ensure transparency and accountability in governance. Now, that plays an important role in order to increase the efficiency or in order to curb the corruption in governance. This transparency and accountability is required, and we are going to discuss that only, guys, how this various constitutional bodies plays an important role in ensuring the transparency and accountability. Now, moving towards the very first constitutional body which we are going to discuss is UPSC. We all are aware of UPSC, and friends, this is one such constitutional body that recruits officers in the Indian Union through various recruitment examinations. Okay, it has mentioned in the article 315 to 323 deals with Union Public Service Commission. It is mentioned in the part 14 of the Indian Constitution, and all the members, including the chairman and the other 10 members, are appointed by the President of India. Now, if you want to be the chairperson of the UPSC, the upper age limit is 65 years, okay, or a term of 6 years, whichever is earlier. Suppose you're joining at the age of 62 years. So, by 65 years, you're required to resign. That is automatically resigned after you attain the age of 65 years. Or if you are joining at 50 years as a chairman of the UPSC, till your term is completed up to 6 years, you can be the chairman of the UPSC. So whatever is earlier, suppose 65 years is earlier, then also you are required to vacate the office, or if you have completed the 6 years of your tenure, then also you are required to vacate your office. Now, who can be the chairperson or the members of the UPSC? Basically, they are recruited from senior civil servants or experts. And what is the function of this particular organization? Conduct recruitment for all India and central services like IS, IPS, not only IS, IPS, but also officers in the Indian Armed Forces, Indian Paramilitary Forces, etc. So, this is basically the function of the Union Public Service Commission. Now, when we come to state, we have a similar level of organization known as State Public Service Commission. Every state has a different Public Service Commission base, but all these are mentioned under similar articles starting from 315 to 323. And since it is a public commission of a particular state, here the members are appointed by governor of that particular state. Now, it has strength of chairman plus members. It varies from state to state, and age limit is 62 years or 6 years, whichever is earlier. So, up to the age of 62 years also you can serve, or up to the age of 6 years of your tenure, whichever is earlier. Eligibility is similar to that of UPSC, higher civil servants, and it also has a similar function but within the state jurisdiction, which means they are recruiting officers within the state jurisdiction. Okay, moving towards the next slide, friends, we have the Election Commission of India, one of the most important constitutional bodies mentioned in the part 15 of the Indian Constitution and from article 324 to 329. Guys, as I've told you earlier that this particular constitutional bodies have mentioned in the constitution by various articles. So all the constitutional bodies will have certain articles. Okay. Now the chairperson is or the chief election commissioner as well as two other election commissioners are appointed by president. Okay. Appointed by president. Age limit is generally up to 65 years or 6 years, whichever earlier. Eligibility, experienced administrators from the civil services background. Okay, work is to conduct elections for parliament, state legislative assemblies, presidential elections, vice presidential elections. Okay, so this is the function of the Election Commission of India. All the elections except the panchayati and the municipalities elections are conducted by the Election Commission of India. Our first election commissioner was Sukumar Rai. Okay, moving towards the Sukumar Sen. Moving towards the next slide, we have the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Mentioned under Article 148 to 151. Now, how many members can be the Comptroller and Auditor General of India? Only one member becomes the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Now, the name itself suggests that he does the audit of all the public, all the government accounts and PSU. When I say PSU, which means public sector undertakings. Okay, now what could be the age limit? 65 years or 6 years of term, whichever is earlier. Eligibility, they are basically coming from Indian Audit and Account Service. This is an elite service and the recruitment of this service is done through the civil services examination conducted by UPSC itself. Moving towards the next slide, friends, we have the Finance Commission of India, one of the most important constitutional bodies mentioned under Article 280 under Part 12 of the Indian Constitution. This is constituted by the President on the interval of after every 5 years. A new Finance Commission is constituted and it has a strength of a chairman and 4 members. Age limit is not fixed. Now, eligibility, expertise in finance, law, economics, etc. Work. What is the work? Recommends tax distribution between union and states. So, this is the function of the Finance Commission of India. Moving towards the next slide, we have the National Commission for Scheduled Caste mentioned under Article 338. This person has to be appointed by the President of India. Strength is 1 chairman, 1 vice chairman and 3 other members. It constitutes the National Commission for Scheduled Caste. What could be the tenure? 3 years. Age limit is 56 years. Eligibility, knowledge in SC matters and work protects the right of scheduled caste. So, this is a special body for the preservation, for the protection of the rights of the scheduled caste. Moving towards the next slide, friends, we have 338A, Article 338A, and that forms the National Commission for the Scheduled Tribes. Okay. Again appointed by the President, we have chairman, vice chairman plus 3 members. Age limit is 70 years and tenure is 3 years. Similar, knowledge in ST matters and safeguard rights of the scheduled tribes. Moving towards the next slide, friends, we have Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities. Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities mentioned under Article 350B, appointed by President. Strength is 1, only 1 will be becoming the Special Officer for Linguistic Minorities. Age limit is not fixed. And what is the eligibility? Expert in linguistic or minority affairs. Okay, and work reports on linguistic minorities and safeguards. So, it is having basically the task of protecting the rights of linguistic minorities. Moving towards the next slide, friends, we have one of the most important constitutional positions, that is the Attorney General of India, mentioned under Article 76, appointed by the President. Only one will be Attorney General, only one person will be holding this position, and age limit is not fixed. Now, who can be an Attorney General qualified enough to be the Supreme Court judge and work chief legal advisor of the government? And remember, guys, he is also the first law officer of the Union of India. So, whenever the government is required to represent itself, the government of India is required to represent itself in the Supreme Court or in any other court, this Attorney General will represent the government of India on their behalf. So, this is basically the objective of the Attorney General of India. Now, he also has the right to audience in all the parliamentary proceedings, but he cannot vote. He cannot vote. He can also audience in all the judicial bodies like Supreme Court, High Court, and any other subordinate courts. So there are some exclusive powers given to Attorney General of India, and mentioned under Article 76. He is the very first law officer of the government of India. So friends, this was all about the constitutional body is, and this constitutional bodies uphold the constitutional values, and they strengthen the democracy through accountability and transparency, which are must required. These are required for a democracy to function properly. So this was a holistic idea about the various constitutional bodies. If you want to learn more, stay connected with Edufy.